Film School Slacker contains adult language and themes. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Film School Slacker, the show where I help my best friend tick off his never-ending watch list of movies he hasn't seen. My name is Megan.
I'm Ian.
And since I'm doing the intro, it is our Flip the Script episode, our second one ever. And today we are going to be watching Snowpiercer.
I am so stoked for this one because it is one of my favorites.
Dang.
I mean, it's got everything.
Okay.
It's got dystopian sci-fi energy, which is a vibe for me.
Aren't I supposed to tell you what I think it has?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Shit.
I know there's a train and Chris Evans and the Earth is fucked and there was a TV show that had Daveed Diggs. Is it what's her face?
I think I'm not
the evil lady. The bad guy. Is it are you? I want to say it's Kate Winslet, but I don't think that's true. Is it Tilda Swinton?
It is Tilda Swinton.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, and then there's it's also John Hurt.
Oh,
and,
dang.
Oh crap, what's his name? Ed Harris.
Oh wow. It's been a minute since I've seen Ed Harris in anything.
He's so okay. Hold on, I should have done this earlier, but I'm pulling this up now. Can you
say,
guys tell it's been a few weeks since we've done this?
Slacking. Well,
also this isn't my usual role in this.
Yeah, I have Fest, and then I had COVID, and
it's a whole thing. Yeah. Okay, so Snowpiercer is a 2013 post-apocalyptic action thriller film based on a French graphic novel, which is
surprise.
It's basically like Snowpiercer, but in French, and I just don't want to say it.
Transpersonnage. Yeah, the snow. Yeah,
Yeah, same kind of.
Transpersonnage.
Every time anyone says anything in French, I just keep on going Benoit balls, and I just can't get it out of my head. Anyway, so it is directed by Bong Joon-ho.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. You were telling me about that.
Yeah, before he got like super
Parasite.
famous. Yep. And he had another one, didn't he?
I think so.
Yeah. So it's him. It's a mix of South Korean and American stars.
Oh.
And they're all good as fuck. So Chris Evans, Song Kang-ho, Tilda Swinton, Jamie Bell, Octavia Spencer.
Jamie Bell?
Yeah.
Love him.
Ewan Bremner, Go Ok-sung, John Hurt, Ed Harris. It's a South Korean cinematographer. Mm-hmm. Hong Jung-pyo. I'm not going to be able to do any of this very well, but it's okay.
Giving it your best shot.
Yeah, I'm giving it my best go here. I'm just seeing if he also did. Yep, he did Parasite too. So the cinematographer also did Parasite.
Nice.
He's well regarded. 2013, budget of $40 million.
Huh.
Okay.
All right.
And it was edited by a couple of people actually.
Nice.
But it's very art house.
Okay.
But in a way and it's a little bit horror.
Yeah.
And very sci-fi and very dystopian, but in like a very approachable way to me.
Okay.
I like the vibe. Let's just play it.
I like sci-fi dystopias in general.
Yeah.
I mean, Last of Us and Hunger Games and all that. By the way, you haven't seen Hunger Games.
I have not. Oh,
we should.
Oh, why don't we
put
see
that
if
on the
list?
list?
Let me
Because
if I've got it on there yet. Let me look.
The first movie is the. Anyway, let's not go down that rabbit hole because there's the shaky cam. There was a whole everyone fucking hated it, and I'm like, guys.
The first one is on my list already.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean
there's 4 of them.
Yeah,
so,
we'll get it. We'll get that. Was it? Wait, Hunger Games Ballad of Songs and Snakes?
No.
What is that?
That's a prequel.
Oh, a prequel. Oh, it's like a year ago.
Yeah,
Okay.
because people missed the point of the first series, so she had to write another book. And then people missed the point of this book,
God damn
of this
it.
last book, so now
Y'all.
she's writing another book at
You
the
know,
moment.
I love that for her,
It's
honestly.
like, guys, stop. Pay attention to the message. God damn it. But yeah, so I'm excited. I have never seen it.
Yeah.
I know I've heard good things about it.
Yeah.
Chris Evans come on our podcast.
Yeah.
/ I'm not gonna say it.
I was gonna say it.
You were gonna say it.
And I'm like, I could just cut it out.
Yeah, I know.
You're like on our podcast, and I was gonna say or Meghan,
Or
but I
come on my face. What?
we'll see how I'm
On
feeling
my
when we cut
tits.
this.
What? Anyway.
Classic.
Anyway.
So yeah, I guess we might as well just get this ball rolling.
Jump right in. Both feet. All right, let's do this shit. How dare you do this to me?
Okay.
How dare?
Okay, now we didn't ask this. I didn't ask this of you before. Is this your first Bong Joon-ho movie?
Yes.
Okay, because I also have not seen
I have
Parasite.
not seen Parasite.
Yeah, maybe that needs to go on the list as a double blind.
Maybe should.
Yeah, I'll do that now.
Holy shit. There's so much to this movie.
I know.
I can't even begin.
Where do you want to start?
I don't know. What is it with Ed Harrison having like godlike control of things?
Yeah, well, because
he
it's Ed
did that.
Harris. He feels like it's kind of his thing.
Because he did that in Truman Show.
Okay. I also haven't seen that.
Okay, well, spoiler
That one's
alert.
I kind of already know about that one.
Yeah, because Ed Harris is the director.
Oh, and did you ever see Westworld, the series?
The first season, yeah.
Yeah, like that. Develops on further as him. Like, yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh my god.
Ed Harris, what happened to you?
Like, what? Why are you like this?
Why do you need to take these roles?
I just think that he can really exude that like weird, effortless control kind of.
That sociopathic.
Yeah.
No emotion. Because, like, he has very blue eyes.
Yes. Yeah.
And I have very blue eyes.
Sure.
So I feel like there's a certain amount of emotionlessness that I can get away with.
So
I don't know. It's
interesting.
It's total conjecture on my part. Like, that's...
The super pale blue eyes, it feels like there's like a...
Well, his are more royal blue, but like...
Sure. Yeah, like
I don't know. I don't know if that has anything
like
to
a
do
lack
with
of
it.
trust or is like hiding. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out. Yeah. Okay.
So, I'm bad at taking notes.
It's all good.
I only got like halfway through the movie and then I was so engrossed in it. I'm just like, I can't. I just didn't even.
So one of the things where I fully like with this movie that I just have never seen before, the sequence of events of like just the end, like before it like slows down and gets to the actual ending like bits, which were very long, drawn out shots. That bit right when it explodes, the fact that all this is actions happening and you just cut to fucking Ed Harris sitting at a kitchen table, like a dining room table, going nice, and then it just god, I have never seen a sequence like that ever happen like that. Like, I don't know why, like it struck me like this movie, that scene, like this movie in general struck me as being so different than anything I'd ever seen before and since, to be fair. And I've seen things that are unique in their own, but like this was just its own thing. I don't know how to explain it.
I can't explain it either. Like there's a lot of elements to the plot.
Yeah.
That just we get answers on a lot of it, but we don't get answers
on a near equal amount of it.
Yeah, pretty much equal amount. Because so I kind of clocked early on that the train itself was meant to be kind of like a pleasure vehicle, like a luxury cruise, but via train.
Right. Imagine getting on a Delta flight and then you don't get off the Delta flight.
And then you never get off the Delta flight.
Right.
But like, my question is, why did they let these kind of the tail section passengers on in the first place? Because it's not like they are working. It's not like they're, the worker bees.
Yeah.
Was it? Because, I mean, and maybe they go into this in the TV show, which I think has to be a prequel.
My understanding of this, and this is just conjecture, I think that it was actually a humanitarian effort, even though it doesn't sound like it in the description of like in
it was kind of
like
a lottery system where
it was just like they let a certain to me it felt like they let a certain number of people on, and too many people got on, and then they had to figure out how to reduce that number to balance out
because
the system.
They were like facing the end of humanity, so they're like, oh shit, we should save as many people as we can. Oh no, we saved too much.
Now what are we going to do to get to balance again?
Eat each other.
Right. There, the big, you know how we talk about how a lot of these movies that we see are a connection to our. They're sort of some of our early interrogations of like religion, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of been an ongoing thing for us with this show.
I know, yeah.
But with this
not
one...
on purpose, we swear.
No, we're not trying to do this. This movie, to me, was an interrogation of class structure.
Yeah,
an interrogation of society and, like...
In very stark contrast.
Relief. Like, it literally creates a microcosm where you can't hide from that. You can't hide from the direct... nature of what that sort of thing that really does happen does on a very micro level.
Yeah.
And I think that's super interesting, and the characters they create are sort of caricatures of elements of society. You know what I mean? Like you've got Mason, who's played by Tilda Swinton, who's the middleman bureaucrat, who utilizes their power when possible, and then but folds immediately under pressure. Yeah.
Like they don't actually buy the bullshit they're spewing.
Right. Or they do, but they also have no backbone for it. Like they don't actually believe it. Like they don't they
don't believe it enough to die for it.
Right.
Whereas, other characters do.
Right. And so you've got like the fighting guys who clearly have gone through the level of indoctrination of all those kids were going through.
Yeah.
It's really weird. And the deep ingrained culture of maintaining that sense of order, and the sense that like, oh yeah, well those people bought in and they have more money, so they just get to continue to operate that way. This
is just occurring to me in my brain. It has sort of like Fallout vibes.
I see what you're saying.
Like the rich people could afford the nice part of the train.
Right.
And then the tail section of the train is maybe one of the vaults that was, owned by a shitty company, and they were like, we're just gonna pump LSD into the air and see what happens. They
were all owned by Vault Tech, but
in the show they go into spoiler alert, but whatever. Yeah. They actually have a scene where Vault Tech is meeting with other companies and being like, we will sell you or give you.
I see. So they had partnerships.
Yeah.
I guess I kind of did know that, but I guess my point was Vault Tech owns all of the vaults.
Vault Tech is terrible.
Yeah, they're literally at Amazon.com.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah, sorry. Whoops.
Well, there goes that sponsorship.
Listen to this on audible.com, which you actually can. Whoops. So, yeah, I think that that was it was one of the early movies that did a good job of letting you start to make associations between the things that you see in society and culture and see how that maps into the really, like you said, really stark contrasts of this kind of microcosm.
Because like the people at the tail end of the train they didn't have shit. They didn't have medical care. They didn't have dental care. They didn't have, they were just literally there to be punished and
or to be harvested. Essentially. And that was like just accepted. Like that was just like, oh, that's your lot. This is my lot. And we were talking about this during the movie. The number of just like philosophical zingers, like one-lines like that were coming off of characters, like talking about like
a couple of them written down.
Oh,
where
amazing!
To go? One of the recurring ones that stood out to me was blank is extinct or when extinct. When extinct, like, and it's it's inanimate objects. So bullets are extinct, cigarettes are extinct,
right?
That kind of got me.
Really? Okay.
That struck something, and I was like, interesting, because those are man-made objects. Mm-hmm. And I think it served the point of it served to drive home that this is a dystopia where scavenging isn't an option. Yes. Because in a lot of, The Last of Us, Walking Dead, even to some extent Hunger Games.
Right.
Yeah. There's remnants of the past that you can go find.
Right.
And, use to your benefit. But like here, that's not possible. Everything is frozen. Right. The only thing that's mobile on this Earth is
the train. And I think I think one of the very most impactful scenes, and we even kind of talked about it while it was happening, and like most of this movie is weirdly impactful to me.
I mean,
but
every single scene. It kind of did what Fallout did with the every scene brings up a new question.
Yes.
And that immediately engages the audience and keeps you engaged and invested from the very beginning, because the first scene is they're doing the head count and Chris Evans stays standing. I'm like, I wrote down, he's already causing problems.
Right. 30 seconds into the movie.
Literally.
I think one of the most poignant scenes kind of stood out from everything to me was when they were the sushi scene.
Oh my god!
Like, there's a couple of things there that I want to bring up, and one of them is, you're in this amazing environment. Like the set design, just from that perspective, is gorgeous. You've got this view looking out the train. You got a very classic looking, the kind of sushi bar setup and
omakase setup.
Yeah, and the discussion is really the crux and core of the entire movie. Yeah. Like
that whole the whole plot.
And I'd love to know,
movie.
I have a sneaking suspicion that you were already like, this is a metaphor for the train, right?
Yeah.
By that point, like, I think pretty quickly any like kind of like the conscientious viewer,
the second they stepped into like the greenhouse, I was like, oh, now we're getting
into the metaphors.
the big ass metaphors.
Yeah. And I just think like that discussion where, and you can tell that Mason doesn't even hear what she's saying when she discusses the nature of the stuff in the train. She loses sort of like the level.
She doesn't realize that, like, I don't think until he hands her the little cockroach jello that she even realizes the complete opposite way that she's been living to how they've been living.
That scene, like, is sort of my Roman Empire. Like, for no good reason, it has lived rent free in my head for a long time, and I don't really know why. Like, it's there's something about like the way that, like, and can we talk about Tilda Swinton for a second?
Oh my god,
she plays that role in a way I don't know that anyone else can. It's you just hate Mason.
I wrote down. You've seen I, Tonya, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
She's giving Tanya's mom vibes.
Oh, kind of going a little bit into the way that Allison Janney plays that role?
Even that from the documentary that I, Tonya was based on.
Okay.
Because she's sitting in a fur coat. She has kind of that dark
hair.
Brown bob with the glasses.
Sure.
And kind of terrible teeth.
Okay.
Like, she's giving me... I can't remember Tonya Harding's mom's name.
I can't either. Such a good movie.
Rain? Something like that?
Sure.
I don't know.
Okay.
But that, like, immediately struck me when she stepped on screen. And she was kind of doing the same, like, berating
Yes.
and abuse.
Yes.
And, like, she kind of has that overbearing... Not stage mom, but like the you can tell
She's
like,
a dance mom.
You could tell she's a piece of shit.
Right.
Like there's something that
it's a seeking of power, but very little actual power to have.
it's a sycophantic
yes,
clinger on, like hanger on.
Right.
Vibe.
Who is that character in... Oh, no. Is it The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings? Where there's, like, the withering, like...
Oh, Grima Wormtongue.
Yes.
That guy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is that Lord of the Rings?
Yes.
Yes, that's what I thought. I was like...
Grima Wormtongue.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like Lord of the Rings stuff, y'all, but I'm not
so
good at remembering the stuff. So forgive me for not having read the Silmarillion yet.
No,
So
I've never read the Silmarillion. I read the original books, Audible wise, and
I think
they
I
were
own like
amazing.
an old copy of
There
The
was
Hobbit.
a lot of songs.
Oh.
And I'm just like...
Yeah, that's like I like the idea of reading a very dense book, but then I start unless I get fully
listening
invested.
to it is nicer.
And maybe that's what I'll do because like also listening to books on tape is still reading books.
It
people.
is. It
So
is.
Fuck off. Because sometimes
Thousands
I just
of years
need
of
to listen.
oral tradition did not end when we
Started
invented
reading.
the printing press.
Yes, exactly.
But anyway,
yeah,
that's a weird take to.
Well, we love a good hot take, and I don't think we can blame anything on John Hughes today. So we'll just.
You know what? I think we'd really have to reach for it.
Well, we'll give it a shot. Let's see where we end up. Yeah. Anyway,
Tilda
yeah. So she
Swinton.
definitely has that withering, but also likes the power aspect, and just like
power hungry.
One bit
happy to play second fiddle if it gets me the benefits that it needs to.
Right. The other thing that I thought was interesting, and this is sort of
Wormtail.
Wormtail's another good one, but the other thing that there's a bit she does that I want to get your take on. And that's there's the
weird
the preordained
hand
motion. There's a bunch of...
I hated that the second she did it. I'm like, that's gonna come up later, and I hate it.
There's so many weird culty hand movements for the
it's a
Wilford
cult
thing. It's a cult.
It's literally a cult.
Right. They've built a cult around
He's
the
even
train.
like wearing a robe.
Yeah. No, he's a cult
isolated.
leader.
Like
totally.
he is an absolute cult leader.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an interest and like totally calm to the very end. It's very weird. It's a very weird thing, but he feels like he's pragmatic. So this is Wilford. This pragmatic.
He frames everything as if I'm so logical. I can look past
the intrinsic irritations and human
past,
foibles and emotions of it.
Yeah. Like, I don't see humans as humans, and yet here I am saving humanity.
Right.
Like, what? I don't understand that cognitive dissonance.
Totally.
Like, if you're here to save humanity, why is there even a tail section of the train full of people who are suffering and malnourished and, dirty and... Like, why is that even a thing? It's because he's like, oh, everything needs to be in balance. I'm like, but you don't.
Right.
But that's not balance.
You could create a world where everyone had an equal amount and was sort of enforced that way.
Yeah.
That'd be communism, you fuck. No.
I mean...
but you know what I mean? Like,
on paper, communism is great.
Yeah, but that's the problem.
People suck.
That's why communism doesn't work.
Yeah.
Also, hot takes from
takes.
And neither of us are poli-sci majors,
God,
so
no.
come at us, bro.
I hated the poli-sci kids I knew in college.
Hot takes. I think the thing I find interesting is I feel like that's like the vestiges of protecting the social order in which the world of the train was invented. And I think that's another great metaphor for the the story itself. Like that's another great kind of element that they've
because
added.
like thinking like logically, this is the last of humanity. These are the only humans left alive, and you want to rebuild what we came from,
or not even rebuild, but just like maintain some vestige of it by subjugating the people at the back.
You don't want to try to make things better for everybody instead of letting the rich be rich and using tail end kids to work in your engine. Like in a tiny space where, the second they get too big, they're going to get their top of their head sliced off. Right. Like, what the actual fuck, dude?
Right. And there's so much. I think the other thing that's crazy about this movie is I've never seen so much imagery that it doesn't explicitly show violence or something horrifying, but it leads your mind into thinking of
it's
the
very
moment.
Hitchcockian.
Yeah, leads your mind into thinking about the horrifying thing that you will see or you didn't see.
Yep. The human mind is
so much more
so much
horrifying.
scarier.
Right, like the idea of like them just like throwing the guy's arm out into the outside.
That is a creative ass punishment.
It is.
I will give them that.
Right, and
also terrifying.
And the detail and like clearly they do this frequently.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's like definitely a thing that happens. Like they have this whole thing for it.
And that comes at the beginning of the movie before we hear Curtis's like, people were chopping off their arms and legs to feed each other.
Right.
So, like, did one feed the other? Like, did the punishment come from that?
Right. I don't know. That's a very good question.
Because in my mind, the people in the front of the train were like, so they're willingly sacrificing their limbs. What if we took their limbs and depleted that food source?
Right. No, that's a good question. I don't know.
But and then they come up with the cockroach paste and the cockroach jello that everyone touches.
Yeah.
Like how is how is there not rampant disease that ends up killing everyone on the tail side of the train? I have so many logistical questions.
Well, and also they do seem to have a pretty strong. Well, and that's the other thing too is they talk about it. It's a closed ecosystem.
Yeah.
So my assumption is that diseases would have spread around, and any disease would have to basically mutate its way on the train, which they can.
Well, it's how many viruses survive that extreme cold?
Right. Well, I mean, unless they're mutating on the train. But it adds a lot of questions, but it definitely does a good job of not being like, hey, you should question all. You know what I mean? Like it does a good job of like showing a world that's already in progress, and you just kind of have to accept it. Whereas there's some things where I'm like, you're trying too hard to get me to believe you.
Yeah.
And I feel like this one does a pretty good job of not making you feel like it's trying to convince you to believe it. It just exists. I had another thought, and now it's totally gone.
And now I fucking lost it.
I get it.
I have some serious questions about the layout of this train.
Oh, same.
Because the kids go to school through the rave.
Yeah, we were looking at this layout. Something ain't right. Like you're trying to get
questioning this layout here.
Trying to get to the aquaponics section and get your sushi. No.
This set design is so I loved their little pool area. That it has the little walkway through the different that was so cool.
I'm also a sucker for what was very clearly practical sets. Like everything inside was a practical set. And I don't know if you saw this at the beginning, but did you notice that they showed the depth of during scenes you could see the depth of the train, and you could see cars moving back and forth. And that was I thought that was the fucking coolest thing.
Oh, yeah.
To see the physical motion.
Rockers under those sets.
Yeah, and you could see the kind of bowling back and forth of the car behind. It's just it's a space that feels so stylized. It feels like not a real place, right? It doesn't feel like it's hyper realistic, but it also doesn't you don't question its realism. You don't question its existence while you're watching it.
Right.
And it's and all the areas that were away from the tail, like you were getting into the more the upper class stuff, you would see like weirdly kind of theatrical sets.
Yeah,
like the sets were very like these like environments
especially,
were very
like,
over
the
the
dining
top.
car.
Yeah,
because like everyone was in costs, like, you know, dressed up for dinner, and you know they're in these gowns and suits, and and then, you know, the tail end people come walking through in their threadbare, dirty ass stuff, and they're like, oh my,
oh heavens, yeah.
Oh, my thought from before, was this the tail end of the train at least could have been this incredible melting pot,
right,
like with the language, like, because, you know,
like
there's a couple different languages that they're speaking,
and should be noted that it circumnavigates the globe.
Yeah, so like the little translator things, I kind of had an issue with.
Okay.
Towards, especially at the end.
Yeah.
Because, you know, what's his name?
Yeah,
Chris Evans and the Korean guy.
Oh my God, why can't I think of his name?
They can't understand each other.
Right.
So he pulls, like, at the beginning of the scene, he pulls out the translator thingy.
Right.
And then Curtis goes on his whole
spiel
monologue.
Right.
Which was very well delivered.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, that's a good point. Like that monologue, that's a lot of just a person talking without anything else. There was no reference B-roll. It's just a monologue.
But there's, you know, you're in it from the beginning because you're getting answers. And Chris Evans just...
that was when I realized he was a good fucking actor.
Yeah. He's got some chops.
Yeah. Sorry, you were talking about the translators.
So the translator thing, he's holding it, and then it's gone for the rest of the scene.
Mm-hmm.
And that could have just been like an establishing thing, but I was like, then why is it even there? Especially since, you know, especially when people live in close quarters like that. Like, even if you're not fluent in a different language, you would pick up phrases.
Right.
Because, like, when Aaron worked in at Black Sheep, where the kitchen staff was largely Hispanic, he picked up Spanish. Like, not fluently, by a long shot.
He had kitchen Spanish.
But he had kitchen Spanish.
Yeah. I think...
So I'm kind of... And especially after 17 years.
Right.
Like...
I'm with you. I think my thing is there weren't an excessive, and I think you had mentioned this while we were watching too, where it was like you're like, I'm surprised at the amount of English. Like it was just like a lot of English, and everyone was just speaking it except for like these two main Korean characters, and the one guy was only speaking Korean. Like I get it. It was weird.
And like if that was an actor thing, because like.
And I think I think he is a Korean language actor primarily.
Andre the Giant couldn't speak English.
Right, like he was.
They had to write all his lines down like phonetically.
Yeah.
And that's how he learned them.
Right.
And I'm not saying that this actor should have done that, but there could have been more of a like, oh, we, you know, took on 50 Korean refugees, and
I think honestly I see what you're saying, and my solution probably would have been to just flip and eliminate the little translators.
Yeah.
And just go with subtitles, and don't even worry about it. Like just assume everyone understands everyone. You know, they're all on the train together.
That's kind of where I was going with that.
I think that like even if they're not speaking the same language, just even though the audience may not know, just give them the subtitles to give them the context, but don't overthink it. Don't try to introduce some thing that's just going to add more questions than answers. Like it's like, what is this weird 2006 Sony Discman looking shit doing here? Like it
that's
doesn't.
What I thought it looked like too.
It felt like they were trying
I think I had one of those in 6th grade.
The little blue buttons and everything. Like, I wish it feels like they were trying to accomplish something or close a loop, a plot hole of some sort, and they didn't really need to. Ultimately, they were just trying to You know, like it was just not a. It was not necessary, and maybe, you know, in the year of our Lord 2024, they could have done without it. No one would have noticed.
Yeah.
But at the time, I think that they felt like they needed to
That's
address it in some way.
Yeah. How can I lead if I have 2 good arms?
Oh God, there's so many good lines.
Oh, that one just knocks your socks off.
I know. It's
because he hasn't made that sacrifice.
Right. Like he feels like he doesn't deserve it.
Yeah. And then at the end of the movie, he finds out that, you know, he's been groomed by his hero, basically.
Right.
His, you know, the whole 17 years, pretty much, he's been on this train. And the conductor knows who he is and was working with his hero.
Right.
And in that moment, like, you see the mind fuck
that he's experiencing,
that he is going through.
And again, another great credit to Chris Evans, just like absolutely losing his shit quietly. Yeah. Like he wasn't even freaking out. Like he was just, you could see him internally losing, just coming like, unglued. Like, because ultimately, I think that that's the part that I find really interesting. Because you know, we as an audience are like, look at how fucking indoctrinated these first class people are. That's crazy. But he's quickly realizing that he is part of the same system. The same system indoctrinated him in a way that he was just like, wait, no, that's real. Like, and that is another impactful moment. Like, you don't know where your doctrine is coming from necessarily, even though the person that did it seems like he was well intentioned. Like, there could be something really sinister as kind of the core of that.
And that's why John Hurt was like, don't let him talk, because it might, because it might destroy the work that they did grooming him. Right. If he finds out the truth, he could, you know, lose his shit. And and then you know, he saves Timmy by sacrificing his hand.
Right.
And then the 2 arms are easier to hold a woman with. Like, holy shit. And then that's exactly what he ends up doing, and saves Yona,
yep,
and Timmy. And also, like, this ending,
it's a lot. It's a weird ending, personally. I
really hoped for the plot twist ending where, like, a helicopter came and landed and saved
the M. Night Shyamalan The Village ending,
pretty much.
They've just been like, it's just been like a weird, like,
well, and then there was like blowing snow over the mountains, and I was like, maybe is that like a settlement, maybe, because the world is warming up.
I do wish that they would have given a little bit more resolution.
Yeah,
like just like even the more like iota, but also like I see why they did what they did.
But also that polar bear ending was fucking, again, it was a punch to the gut. Right. Because, you know, in reality, you know, whatever reality is. Yeah. Polar bears are dying. Right. Because their habitat is being destroyed by climate change. Right. And then this movie totally flips that on its head. Yeah. Humanity froze the earth, created all of the habitat for polar bears. Right. And now the humans are the ones that are dying, rare and endangered.
Well, and did you see that it was purely because of result of trying to prevent climate change? Yeah. I just thought that was a fascinating concept.
Humanity caused its own demise. Huh.
And also, like, trying to take care. I just found that to be we would do that, wouldn't we? Of course we would do some sort of like weird greenhouse thing that causes
literally the episode of Futurama.
Yes!
Where they drop a giant ice cube into
the ocean every couple of years.
Like,
oh my god. Yeah. It's true. I mean, it's a wild twist on that kind of classic, like, the world is doomed fable, where it's like, we were wrecking ourselves.
A little doomed, and then we fucked it up.
We just absolutely thought we could play God about it. We're like, no, we can have our cake and eat it too, and then just absolutely wreck ourselves and freeze the entire Earth.
Also, like, I want a prequel, damn it. And like I said, I think the series
is maybe a prequel.
Is a little because
it would
the series takes place
right?
on a train,
right? Like unless
and at the end of the movie, there's no train,
right. You're right.
So
I just feel like as a villain, I would probably be Wilfred because I just like freaking trains.
You would.
And I just walk around in a freaking bathrobe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
okay. I'm not kidding. I will buy you those pajamas if you wear them to.
I would absolutely.
Bleep and bleep sweating.
Right.
Because,
that's funny.
Like, holy shit.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's a. And we just keep saying how much of a mind fuck this movie is.
It's such a mind fuck.
Yeah.
But in a really cool way that I will definitely be thinking about for the next several days.
Right. But it doesn't do it with a lot of pretension.
No.
And I think that's one of the things I like about it is it's like I think a very Oscar bait worthy movie in some in a modern sense.
Well, this is a sci-fi movie, so it's not going to get any Oscar nominations.
You right. But you know what I mean though. Like
yeah.
it connects itself to themes that are very Oscar bait-esque, and it does it in a very approachable way, and does it disconnected enough from our current age to make it easier to look at, but also very unflinchingly looks at things that exist today.
It takes place in 2031.
Right.
Like, that's 7 years from now.
Oof.
Holy shit.
2001 Space Odyssey, though, so, what are we...
I mean, yeah, like, I don't think any sci-fi movie that went to the future is
gonna age perfectly.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just okay, so I am curious to get your take on like the dialogue, like, because we talked a little bit about some of the philosophical zingers. But overall, what'd you think of just like the dialogue and the way it moved as a whole? Because I think that it feels, again, this is just me being a sucker for it, but it feels kind of theatrical.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it doesn't deliver.
You very much start in media res in the action.
Yeah.
And you're just sort of plopped down into it. Nothing is really answered right away. It doesn't have a ton of exposition up front, so you're left, and that's I think one of the keys to creating those narrative engines is
the sacred narrative engine.
Do a shot. Naked narrative engine.
Narrative engine.
Megan said narrative engine. Drink.
The sacred engine.
The sacred engine with
if
the
you ever say
weird,
narrative engine, I'm gonna start doing the sacred engine little like hand movements.
That'll get me to stop.
No, I don't think so.
But like it and that's speaking as a writer who has written the first 100 or so pages of a novel. It's really hard to hold off on exposition. Yeah. It is so hard.
Yeah.
Because either you want everyone to know exactly what's happening and all of the stuff that led up to this point. But that's like, I hate reading exposition.
Yeah, no,
like
you don't want to read exposition until you're really fucking committed.
I have so many questions that I will read a giant chunk of exposition just to get maybe an answer to one of my fucking questions,
and
please.
I think that was this whole movie was just one giant. I don't know. It sounds terrible. Like it's just edging you to Curtis's end monologue.
Yes, but not in the way that Twilight is literary edging.
That's not what I'm.
That's not fun edging.
No, that's not fun. No,
this is fun.
This is fun edging.
This is like Fallout, the TV show edging.
Yes,
where every scene brings up a new question.
That is one of my new favorite like kind of ways to talk about a reason I like media. Is it's like
edging.
every new scene gives
Ian's
me more
kink.
questions. Guess what? No, my kink is karma. Thank you very much.
Okay, Chapel.
Chapel comes for all of us in the end.
She grabbed me by the throat and has not let me go.
I 100% believe that.
Did you see the VMAs?
I've only seen a clip.
Oh my god!
I'm like, holy shit.
Yes.
She is an icon.
Bisexuality confirmed. As if it was ever a question.
No, I just think that she's the.
Oh my god, I love her so much.
We must protect her. Like,
yes.
Everyone be cool about Chapel so we can like have another album from her, please.
Oh
Thank you.
Another 7 albums, please.
Right.
No pressure.
No pressure though.
Chapel Roan, come on our podcast.
Come on our podcast. She would not, but yeah, if you do it, please do.
Yeah. As long as we didn't approach her in a public place
That's
while
fair.
she's getting dinner.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
I love that our way of relating to celebrity is changing too. Like, celebrities are standing up for themselves and being like, no, I am a private citizen.
Right.
I am not working right now. You need to leave me the fuck alone. I love that. Set your boundaries, queen.
Yeah. No,
anyway.
I fully agree with that. It's a weird that whole parasocial thing, like when it started blowing, it's always been around, but like with the internet it made it really easy to kind of happen. And now the way we have treated female artists, young female artists, it's frightening.
Has been absolutely like it's
unconscionable.
paparazzo from the early to mid 2000s and 2010, basically any time in the last 30 years, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah.
Because you literally drove Britney crazy.
Right.
You drove Britney to shave her head.
You killed Diana.
You killed Diana. Yeah. Even though we're in America and that happened in France.
You know what?
But still. Anyway.
Yeah, no, but seriously though. Like in the world of people being in the public eye.
Yeah.
Like it is.
Leave them the fuck
feel
alone.
Like people, for some reason,
they don't owe you shit.
Feel fucking entitled to someone else's life, and I'm like, just because that's their job, does not give you like the right access to the yeah.
Everyone deserves their privacy.
Absolutely.
Like, yeah. Someone wrote on the internet that they saw Pedro Pascal in a London cafe, and like the people he was with kind of gave the person who had noticed like the stink eye, like the stay the fuck away,
like don't come talk to us thing. Yeah.
And they were like so bitchy about it online. I'm like, guys, he was having lunch.
Right.
How would you feel if a random ass stranger came up to you and interrupted whatever conversation you were having and demanded to take your picture?
Right.
Like put yourself in that situation and see how you react.
Right. No, it'd be so invasive.
It's so invasive.
Yeah.
Anyway, what the fuck are we talking about?
The movie Snowpiercer.
Oh yeah, that.
I think I'm trying to like kind of like go through like, okay, so cinematography, you know, like it was very dynamic to me.
Yeah.
It had a very dynamic quality. Like it was this is going to sound really dumb because I also haven't seen the movie that I'm going to talk about, but I feel like I understand it well enough because I know it's how it works. It's like what Cloverfield wanted to be, you know, because it was not stable. It was not a smooth, stable situation, but it wasn't shaky, but you still got the sense of the action. Like it was, you felt the claustrophobia, you felt the movement, you felt
it was Children of Men.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's a better...
No, I think you're right. It's been a long time since I've seen that.
I know.
Holy shit.
Same.
Yeah, who directed that?
I don't know. Ask Google. Asking Google.
Classic.
Please hold.
Okay.
Children of Men. Holy shit, that movie came out in 2006.
Oh, I hate that. What?
Sorry, I'm just going to cough right on you. Alfonso Cuarón.
Oh, okay.
I forgot Michael Caine was in that movie.
Holy shit.
Holy shit, indeed. I want to rewatch that one. I remember really liking that one.
It was I remember being like, whoa. It was one of those movies that was just sort of like an ongoing, a little bit like this one, where it's like, and this one is a little different because they do a better job of like time spans. What I remember about Children of Men was it felt like it was real time. Those movies where it felt like you were just like on a ride in real time, moving along, and that was...
Ooh, another one for a double blind would be Ex Machina.
Oh, yeah. I have definitely not seen that.
I haven't either. But it's got
Nice.
Donald Gleason in it.
Oh, fun.
And Oscar Isaac.
Okay, so here's the question.
Anyway.
Do you have more notes you want to go through?
I don't think so.
I love that this was just like a movie where you're like,
I got distracted by the movie.
Yeah. Which is honestly says more about it than anything else, right?
Oh, the documentarian, the artist, the sketch guy.
Oh.
I thought that was a really cool element.
Yes. Yeah.
To
He's like,
have.
and like the idea, like, no, there was no cameras.
Yeah.
They just had like this
and
guy.
you wouldn't even think about that. Yeah. The
It's a
fact that they
great
don't have
detail.
cameras, so they rely on this one guy who can draw really well.
Right. And he's
as-
using like super like rudimentary materials.
Yeah.
And he's always wearing that fucking headlamp.
Yeah.
So like it was like a person that
Like that
his
character.
aesthetic was dictated by necessity.
Yeah.
And like the fact that he would go up and like clearly when he went up to talk to both of the grieving parents, he didn't like it wasn't like I drew a picture. Like this was expected.
Yeah.
He just walked they did
Like,
such a good
here.
job of like here it is, like this I found a picture, I did it, here you go.
Yeah.
Like that was like an expectation because this happens so fucking often.
Yeah. Like
It's heart-wrenching. And he's just like so sweet.
And people say art isn't important. Fuck you.
Exactly.
Art is what makes us human. Anyway.
Absolutely. No, that's actually a really great call out. And just also the fact that just like everyone fucking dies. Like
Everyone dies.
Everybody.
74%.
Approximately 74. Precisely 74% of
But,
you shall die.
And that was a cull. Like that was them.
It was a culling.
That was
that number was on purpose.
Yeah.
And at the time you're like, why the fuck did we say that? And then it's like, no, in retrospect,
they planned for that.
that was what they wanted
Like
to
what
do.
the fuck? Why?
Yeah.
Why? I don't know, man. I
Yeah.
struggle with non-empathetic characters.
Yeah, no,
or characters that don't have empathy.
Well, because it makes you feel kind of crazy.
It does. I feel
Yeah.
super like
Yeah, no, it makes you feel like icky.
I
Yeah.
feel like I need a shower.
Absolutely.
Also, I need a shower, but that's
Fair enough. I mean,
because
that's fine.
I'm gross.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I don't smell you from here, so
well, that's good.
yeah,
That's why I get to be gross, is because I don't reek. That's why I get to shower once a week, is because I don't.
you don't reek fast enough.
I don't reek fast enough.
That's fair enough. Okay.
So yeah, let's rate
run
this.
these numbers. Production and design.
5.
5. Okay.
I think it's gonna be 5s across the board.
Okay.
Man.
Story.
5.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I like 4.8 if we want to talk about the voice translator things, but
Oh yeah. You know what? Let's do it. I just want to.
all right.
I just want to notate because I feel like we just need to. All of our ratings are pretty good, even our bad
Yeah.
ones. So I'm just trying to
Yeah.
try to keep our. I mean, whatever. We're not here to be Rotten Tomatoes. Like,
Yeah.
don't come to us for movie like recommendations.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? This movie is 10
We
years old.
respect art form. We respect the art form too much to
be
totally shit
hypercritical.
on.
Yeah, like I would
things.
feel bad because like so many people worked
Yeah.
on it. Like I can't do that.
I can't be like. I talk a lot of shit for someone who can't choose the mean options in video game dialogue.
But I would feel bad.
But I don't want to be
don't know
mean. I don't want to make them feel bad. I literally tried in Baldur's Gate 3 to do like the mean options, and I'm like, no, I don't like being mean. I'm gonna go back to being nice.
I'm gonna go by nice again. I
I'm
can't
gonna help
never
people.
I feel this Dark Urge playthrough's never gonna happen.
It's never gonna happen.
That's funny.
I'm sorry.
All right, performances. It's a bonkers good cast.
It's so good.
Like,
I
and
kind of
that's-
want to just give it a 5.
We can give it a 5.
Because like even the extras kind of killed it.
Yeah, everyone was on point the whole time. Yeah, I agree. And even like a minor featured character was Allison Pill.
Yeah,
like what? And she was terrifying.
Oh
she
yeah,
was the scariest character there.
She does a good scary white lady.
Yeah. Not everyone can be a scary white lady.
Not everyone.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I can't. Chris Evans.
This was the movie that I really started to like Chris Evans. Like genuinely like by the end of like all the Avengers stuff that he was in, like I liked him in that too, but like this was one of the first things I saw him in ever.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, whoa, this guy is good. I saw maybe the first like Captain America movie, and then I saw this and I was like, oh wait.
Oh shit.
This guy's got some
He's
chops.
actually got it. Skills.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'd seen Chris Evans in a non-superhero movie. Oh no, I saw him. He was in Not Another Teen movie.
Okay.
That was like his first big role when he was like, I don't know, 21.
Okay.
Back in 2000.
Sure.
So I've seen that, but like most of my exposure to Chris Evans has been as Captain America or Johnny Storm. Holy shit.
Yeah. Yep.
But I like you forget that the people in the big superhero movies
are actors.
Are actually usually pretty good actors.
Yeah. Well, that was just like I had
have
the
you
same
seen
thing
Chaplin? Like
no.
friggin' RDJ, killing it.
No,
what was it? The Sympathizer. He played 4 different roles in The Sympathizer.
Not to mention flipping
angry white guys.
Fucking what's her name? Oh, Scarlett Johansson in Jojo Rabbit.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit.
I haven't seen that one in a while.
Oh, you've seen it though, right?
You made me watch it.
Okay, I was
watched it together. I had feelings.
Good. We just have a podcast yet, so I have no record of it.
That's true.
It's just easy for me to keep track of when we watch things now because we can just publish it to the rest of the world.
Now it's everyone else's problem.
This is really just we already do this, and now we're just making it your problem. So welcome to this. Okay, and our last one is cultural impact.
I don't know that it had a cultural impact, but holy shit, did it?
It should have. Yeah.
Did it kick culture in the crotch?
It sure did. It sure impacted culture.
It impacted
with its knee.
Yeah.
Or cleaver, depending on who you are.
Yeah. Or axe or umbrella,
whatever
hook hand or
hooked hand. I don't know. I feel like giving it a 5 doesn't really make any sense because it didn't. I mean, it depends on how we want to handle it because this is always our hardest one to judge. I think that was extraordinary in our world of judging what a movie does or attempts to put into the world. Mm-hmm. I think that it did an exceptionally good job of doing that. Like I feel like it told its story, it told what it was supposed to do, and it told it really well.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a 5 or not, but it didn't hurt.
I'd say it's a 5.
Okay.
Because how could you watch this movie and side with the oppressors?
I agree.
Like,
yep. It's, hey, we set this standard for ourselves in our very first fucking episode.
And to me, that is a positive impact.
Mm-hmm.
Because making such an egregiously evil, system and putting it on display like this.
Right. And making it beautiful.
Yeah.
But also making it so you could never ever question who the good guys are.
Yeah. Or that you would question, like, it does make you question the people that you see like this in reality. I think you're right. I think it raises those questions.
As a steward of culture,
yes,
the movie does a really good job of telling a very poignant story, and I think that is fair to give it a 5 star rating.
So I'm gonna say this is probably our second
5 star. Let's see. Going to my ratings board. It is second only to Inside Out.
Yeah. Because Inside Out was 5s across the board.
Yep, sure was. And so its aggregate score is still 5.0, just based on our scoring system.
Nice.
But Inside Out was 5, a nat 5.
A nat 5.
So, meanwhile, there's Hot Tub Time Machine. I was like, I rolled a 3.5.
I mean,
Fair.
like, I listened back to that episode and I'm like, yeah. That movie is just exactly what it says it is.
It's what's
Hot
on the
tub
tin.
Time machine.
What's on the tin is in it, but it may contain Chevy Chase. That's all I can say.
May contain bits of Chevy Chase.
Yeah. So anyway, it was. I am glad that you have finally seen this.
I am glad I've finally seen this.
It's one worth rewatching because you find new shit every time.
It's dense, so I might need to take a little break.
Oh yeah, no,
before I pick it back up
Good
again.
God, I haven't seen this movie in probably 6 or 7 years, just because it's so intense.
I very much enjoyed it, even though I will definitely need an edible to get to sleep tonight.
Yeah. Just because of the Tilda Swinton of it all.
I mean, that and the everything, everything about it all. Oh, it was really good. You guys.
If you haven't seen this movie, genuinely,
please
it's not a super popular movie.
No.
It's not like it's unheard of.
It is R-rated, so like
it is.
If you're under 18 or 17.
Also, if that's the case, this is an explicit podcast, so
then what the fuck are you doing here?
What the fuck are you even doing here?
Get the fuck out of here. Go fucking home.
Yeah, go listen to stuff you should know or something.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here?
Go listen to... I tried to think of a podcast that I listened to that child could, or a minor could listen to, and there isn't.
That's why I said stuff you should know is the only one I could think of.
It's a lot of true crime that I listen to. Yeah, but anyway, thanks for coming on this journey with us.
Yeah. Who's ending this?
Enjoy your cockroach jello, and
I will.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.
I'm Ian.
I'm Megan.
We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Film School Slacker. Our graphic design is by Mitch Ransdell. Music by Ariel Shalom and Ziv Moran. Voiceover audio provided by Mike D and Janet Paoni. Learn more at filmschoolslacker.com.